The woman noticed that as soon as she held her two newborn sons, they cried non-stop. But as soon as her mother-in-law arrived, the children immediately became calm and obedient. Instead of being suspicious, the woman smiled wickedly. The truth was, she had been reborn. In her past life, on the day she gave birth, her husband tragically died in a car accident. She was left to raise her two sons on her own, but with her hard work, both boys got into prestigious universities. However, on the day of their graduation celebration, her husband, who had been dead for 20 years, suddenly appeared, along with the manipulative woman. It turned out that the manipulative woman was the boy's real mother, and the two sons had known this all along. They had even secretly transferred all of the woman's assets to their names. Devastated, the woman suffered a heart attack and died. But when she opened her eyes again, she found herself back 20 years in the past. Before she could make sense of everything, her father-in-law informed her of her husband's tragic death. As she watched the two people acting in front of her, she felt an overwhelming sense of regret. She swore that she would make everyone who had hurt her pay the price. So, the woman pretended to be heartbroken and vowed to raise her two children on her own. Her in-laws, thinking their plan had worked, exchanged a smug smile. However, when her mother-in-law dozed off, the woman slowly reached for the children's necks. 18 years passed quickly. Under the woman's careful guidance, both sons got into prestigious universities. She immediately started planning a celebration for their academic achievements. The next morning, her in-laws arrived at the banquet hall early. Seeing their well-behaved grandsons, they couldn't help but show expressions of pride and joy. Suddenly, her father-in-law stopped the woman, saying that since the boys would soon be going abroad, they wanted to move into her house. But the woman replied that she had already sold the house and even presented the sale contract. Her in-laws were furious, demanding that she give them the money from the house sale to manage. But the woman had already anticipated this and had deposited the entire sum into her son's education fund, which only they could access. Seeing that her mother-in-law wouldn't stop pressing the issue, her father-in-law quickly intervened, believing that the grandchildren's money belonged to them. At this, her mother-in-law flashed a wicked smile. As the woman was about to announce the start of the celebration, her husband, accompanied by the manipulative woman, suddenly appeared. He claimed that they were the children's real parents. The guests in the hall started murmuring. The husband immediately began to taunt the woman, while her in-laws welcomed the manipulative woman with smiles. The two sons rushed to ask the woman what was going on. The husband declared that the manipulative woman was their real mother. The sons then turned to their grandparents, only to have the mother-in-law start slandering the woman, claiming she had staged the car accident to kill her husband. She said the husband had pretended to die to protect the children. The guests, hearing this, immediately turned against the woman. Then, the husband pulled out a divorce agreement and demanded that the woman leave with nothing. To everyone's surprise, the woman signed the divorce papers without hesitation. The husband then proudly showed the signed agreement to the manipulative woman, who pretended to thank the woman mockingly. But the woman stunned everyone by saying she would arrange a wedding for them. The manipulative woman, overjoyed, immediately took her husband's hand and walked up to the stage. However, the two sons moved to the woman's side. Without warning, the woman handed the wedding rings to the manipulative woman. The in-laws, furious, told the woman to leave immediately. But the woman calmly said that she had invited two special guests. Everyone was curious. The door opened, and two beggars entered, one clearly mentally challenged and the other limping. Her in-laws immediately tried to throw the two men out, but what the woman said next left everyone speechless.